Hello everybody, very good evening and welcome to StudyIQ IAS English. Myself Abhishek Singh, and today in this lecture we are going to talk about the statue of a great saint, in fact one of the greatest saints to have blessed the soil of India, Adi Shankaracharya. This statue is called as the statue of Oneness, which is quite apt because of his philosophy of the oneness of the soul and the supreme soul. Yes, we are actually talking about Adi Shankaracharya, who gave the philosophy of Advaita or the non-dualism. So let's see that where is this statue being unveiled, where is this being established, and what are the other details. So in this particular session, first of all, we will talk about the statue, which is actually a 108 feet tall statue, which is being inaugurated on today's date, that is 21st of September, by the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. And this will be the tallest statue of Shankaracharya in our country. In fact, this has been named as a Ekatmaki Pratima, or the statue of oneness. Why so? As I told you the reason behind that. And where is it located? This is actually located at the Mandhata hill on the banks of the Narmada river in the Khandwa district, nearby the Omkareshwar Jyotirling. So I hope that most of you must have heard these locations earlier, but let me tell you that in case if you have not heard about my Telegram channel, so guys, all these content and the details of my sessions are available on my Telegram channel, so do not delay, join it very quickly, and let us understand a few more things about this project. So here, this statue, which is actually made of the multiple metals as well as the various other elements used to revere and construct this particular giant structure, I would say, actually this is to honor the contribution of Adi Shankaracharya in the philosophical domain as well as in the spiritual and cultural heritage of India. In fact, this structure was actually conceptualized and built by Acharya Shankar Sanskritik Ekata Nyas and Madhya Pradesh State Tourism Development Corporation. Now, let me tell you one thing, that when we talk about this particular statue, this statue has actually costed a total of rupees 2,141.85 crores. Apart from the statue, which all things are going to be constructed here, it will be having a museum which will focus on the life and the philosophy of Adi Shankar. This will be called as Advaita Dham. Okay? Remember, a few months back, there was the similar structure constructed even in Ujjain. Okay? Even in Ujjain. So you might have remembered the name of Mahakala Lok. So it is exactly on the same line where the Advaita Lok, right, Advaita Lok, I'm sorry, that will be actually constructed. Acharya Shankar International Institute of Advaita Vedanta for the study of the Vedanta, that will be established. And the research and propagation of Advaita philosophy through this institution, that is also on the agenda of the government. So basically, we are looking forward for the establishment of such great set of institutions and the monuments, and this entire set of the monuments, this entire project will be called as the Ekatma Dham. This will be called as Ekatma Dham. Remember the names? Which are the important terms? Which are the important names here? The first name is the Statue of Oneness. Statue of Oneness, or Ekatmaki Pratima. That's the first name. Second name is the Advaita Dham. Okay, Advaita Dham. And the third name is Ekatma Dham. So Advaita Lok and Ekatma Dham, these are similar sounding names. So that's why it might be confusing, but do not confuse between these two. Why? Because this might be possible in the upcoming examination. Now, this is actually the statue which is being constructed, and basically the inauguration was done from a 75 feet tall platform by the Chief Minister. Now, let me tell you about a very interesting thing. This is basically the P2I or the Prelims to Interview batch about which we are talking. This batch is actually being launched from tomorrow onwards, where we will be providing the comprehensive guidance along with the one-to-one mentorship, doubt solving, as well as the special preferences will be given on the prelims and the mains practice test series. Not only that, you will also be provided the short-term quick courses when the prelims will be closed nearby. That's called as the Success in Prelims program. Similarly, once you are able to clear the prelims stage, you will be called to the StudyIQ campus in Delhi NCR, where the entire preparation that will be on the responsibility of StudyIQ team, along with your food, shelter, stay, everything. So I think that it is quite a great opportunity that you should be joining this batch. It's probably the most premium batch that you will be having in the entire scenario of the aspirants' preparation journey. So these batches are starting from the 22nd of September. Remember the date. And if you are using my code ASR Live, you are going to get the huge benefit in the fees also. From 70,000, it will straight reduce directly to the 29,999 rupees. Now let us understand a few things about the location and about the personality. UPSC, I think previous year also in 2022, they had asked a similar question because the similar statue that was inaugurated. Remember the Statue of Equality in Hyderabad. So where is this Mandhata exactly situated? What is this Mandhata? Mandhata is actually a riverine island which is quite close to the banks of Narmada, and this island is actually famous for housing the Omkareshwar temple, as well as the most famous and probably the oldest structure on that particular island is the Siddheshwar temple. So Omkareshwar temple or Siddheshwar temple, these are basically the two Shiva temples situated in that particular region, and they make it very reverent and very holy shrine for the devotee Hindus who flock in great numbers to visit that place. In fact, even when the unveiling of this statue of Adi Shankaracharya, who is also regarded as one of the incarnations of Lord Shiv himself, even then also thousands of the devotees and the seers, they had actually reached the place. Now, when we talk about the location, you can see this particular map. Narmada, which originates from the place called Amarkantak and flows through Jabalpur and the areas of other places alongside the Vindhya range of mountain. So alongside the Vindhya ranges, Narmada is actually adjoined by several tributaries. However, this place, which is Omkareshwar, right? Omkareshwar and nearby Maheshwar. So basically the Khandwa district of Madhya Pradesh is where the Narmada river is actually making a sequence of riverine islands over there, after which it simply flows through the Badwani, and then after it enters into the Gujarat region, from where it falls into the Gulf of Khambhat. Okay, Gulf of Khambhat, also called as the Gulf of Cambay, you might read it here. So overall, there might be the possibility of a question either related to any of the sites of Jyotirlingas or related to the Mandhata particularly. So you should be prepared with that. Now let us talk about the main personality of today's topic, that is Adi Shankaracharya. So guys, Adi Shankaracharya was actually born in place called Kaladi, that is in Kerala. And he was very young, probably just 5 or 6 years of age, when he declared the renunciation from this world. Initially, his mother and other house members might have resisted, but he was very stern on his position, and therefore they had to give it up on him. Now, after declaring the renunciation, from the world, he decided to go on the walk, and he actually went in wandering. In fact, UPSC had also asked the question, probably in the essay this year, that all those wander are not lost. Okay, so Shankaracharya could be a great example of that. At the age of just 5 years, he started wandering from place to place as an ascetic. And in the age of just 12 years, he reached to the Madhya Pradesh region. From that particular area, you might be aware about the place called as Ujjain, right? Ujjain. So that area of Omkareshwar, Mahakaleshwar, that particular zone is actually regarded as the zone of Bhagavat Govind Pad. Okay, Bhagavat Govind Pad or Govind Bhagavat Pad, basically he was a saint of the Advaita tradition who became, remember the name, who became the direct preceptor of Shankaracharya, under whose guidance Shankaracharya was initiated as an Advaita and as an Advaita philosopher. Now, this is actually the tradition of Advaita Vedanta. Many people, they misconceptualize that Advaita Vedanta was founded by Adi Shankaracharya. Now, that's a little bit dicey statement, because when you go by the tradition of Advaita, then you will find that within this Advaita tradition, Gaudapad is regarded as the disciple of the legendary sage called Sukha or Sukh. Okay, Sukh. So Gaudapad is disciple of Sukh, and after that, who is that? Gaudapad is basically the teacher of Govind Bhagavat Pad. Gaudapad is teacher of Govind Bhagavat Pad, who is the teacher of Adi Shankaracharya, which is actually the cycle or creation, basically the sequence of the teachers and the disciples in this philosophy. Now, when we talk about the famous creations by Shankaracharya, now his creations include the books like Brahma Sutra Bhashya, very, very famous, in fact, the legendary work, which is regarded as the most fundamental work for any person who is looking forward to initiate into the Advaita Vedanta. Apart from this particular book, he also wrote several other books like Vivek Chudamani, Saundarya Lahari, Bhaj Govindam, and Shivananda Lahari. Right. Shivananda Lahari is basically combined Shivananda Lahari. Now, these books are actually the indicator of the great intellect that he possessed. In fact, my dear, in the age of just 32 years, he was able to defeat all the intellectual giants. In fact, you might have heard about the great story of Mandan Mishra and Bharati. Have you ever heard that story? Mandan Mishra, Acharya Mandan Mishra, who belonged to Varanasi region, and Bharati, his wife, who was also a great intellectual. Actually, Shankaracharya defeated Mandan Mishra in the debate on the Brahma Satya. However, Bharati, she could not be won over by Shankaracharya's logics, and therefore Shankaracharya once again declared his renunciation from this intellectual debate practices and went into the search of the true knowledge once again. So this is actually the story which depicts that even Shankaracharya, he also was ready to incur more and more knowledge whenever he got an opportunity. However, the most important contribution of Shankaracharya is not just giving the Advaita Vedanta. In fact, while giving Advaita Vedanta, he also did one important thing, that is to culturally and spiritually he integrated the Indian subcontinent. Remember, when he was walking on this earth, that time was when there was a phase of decline, not just of the Buddhism, but also of the general cultural intellectuality as well as the ethical spirituality, all were on a downward spiral. When Shankaracharya decided to take the matters into his own hands and he propagated this philosophy of Advaita, which was surely going into the oblivion, but he not just made it resurgent, but also the dominant philosophy in that particular era, surpassing the popularity of Buddhism and any other contemporary philosophies. For example, during his period, there used to be a few major deities whose worship was very common. It included the deities like Shiv, Vishnu, Surya, Shakti, Ganesh, and even Kartikeya or Skand. So when we talk about these 6 deities, basically Shankaracharya, he removed this discrimination among the deities and he propagated the ultimate idea of the oneness when he wrote his Brahma Sutra Bhashya. Through this text, he gave the philosophy of Advaita, where he simply said that Brahma Satya Jagat Mithya. He called this entire universe as simply an illusion, and the reality, the ultimate reality, is being the Brahma, who cannot be acknowledged until and unless you have the true sense of knowledge in your understanding. Got it? So this is why his path of philosophy is also called as Gyan Margam, or the path of knowledge. His followers are called as the Smartas. Smarta, they basically worship the Brahma in 2 distinguished forms. The Smartas, who are the Grihastha, that means they are not the ascetics, not the sannyasins. They worship the god through the demonstration of 5 deities. Okay, demonstration of 5 deities. And these 5 deities, let me tell you one thing, just okay. So these 5 deities actually, they have the names of Shiv, Vishnu, Shakti, Ganesh, and Surya. Okay, so the followers of Shankaracharya, who are basically the grihasth, that means the householders, they are basically allowed to worship the 5 deities. But those followers who are the ascetics, that means they have renunciated the world, they worship the Brahma, who is eternal, who is formless, who is not visible in any type of specific structure, who is omnipresent, omnipotent, and who is only possible to be known through the realization of true knowledge. So this is basically the Smarta tradition. Smarta tradition. Who was the founder? Shankaracharya was the founder. All right, everyone. So he basically succeeded in uniting the cultural and spiritual diversity of India into a oneness of the philosophy. Now, he also established 4 mathas or 4 pitas in the 4 corners of India. Let me tell it that it's not literally the corner, but in the 4 different geographical directions of India. And guys, the more important thing is that he just walked on his feet to reach all those places in just a short span of 32 years of his life. So the first one is basically located in Uttarakhand, which is known as the Uttarmanya, right? Uttarmanya Shri Jyotirpeeth or Jyotirmath. In Odisha, in Puri, it is called as the Purvamanya Shri Govardhan Peeth or Govardhan Math. Then in the west, it's called as the Paschimanya Shri Sharda Peeth or Dwarka Sharda Math. Okay. In the southern part of the country, Dakshin Manya, Shri Sharda Peeth or Shri Sringeri Math. Okay. So guys, remember the names of these mathas. Very often people get confused that there are four dhams. So four dhams are not the four Pitas of Shankaracharya. They are common, basically Badrinath, Jagannath Puri, Dwarka, and Rameshwaram is the fourth dham. This is the fourth dham, okay? But don't get confused that it is the fourth Peeth of Adi Shankaracharya. It is, the fourth one is Sringeri in Karnataka. And each of the Peethas are actually dedicated to a specific Veda. For example, if you see Rig Veda is basically devoted to the Puri. Rig Veda is devoted to Puri. So you can make a cross. Rig Veda, then Sam Veda, okay, and then Yajur Veda. Here Yajur Veda and Atharva Veda. So I did not make a cross because this would have simply crossed the picture of Adi Shankaracharya. So I hope that you can understand it. Now, these four Vedas are basically the four founding Vedas of those four Peethas of Adi Shankaracharya. Now let us see a question which was asked in 2022, which is quite similar to this particular topic, because in 2021-22, we also saw the inauguration of the Statue of Equality. So similar question was asked. In fact, the world's second tallest statue in the sitting pose of Ramanuja was inaugurated by Prime Minister of India at Hyderabad recently. Which one of the following statements correctly represents the teachings of Ramanuja? Ramanuja is actually known to be the pioneer of the Bhakti philosophy, right? So that's why the right answer would be option number A. The best means of salvation was devotion. So that would be the answer. Now, this is the sample question which or the like of which we can expect in the examination. With reference to Adi Shankaracharya, consider the following statements. He is credited with the doctrine of Advaita Vedanta. The followers of Shankaracharya are called as Smartas. The Smarta tradition is related to the Pancharatra worship. How many of these statements are incorrect? Wrong. So let us understand it one by one. Doctrine of Advaita Vedanta, absolutely correct. No doubt at all. Then followers are called Smartas, absolutely correct. Once again, Smarta tradition is related to Pancharatra worship. Now, what is the Pancharatra worship? Now, let me tell you something very important. Actually, Pancharatra worship is related to the Vaishnavism. Okay? And Panchayatan, remember, Panchayatan worship is related to Shaivism. Okay? So when we call this Pancharatra, this Pancharatra is actually the worship of Krishna. Okay? Krishna, Balaram, all right, then Pradyumna, Aniruddha, okay, Aniruddha, and Samb. Guys, remember that these five are also known as the Panch Mahavrishni. Basically, those who do not know, the Vrishni, that was the name of the oldest tribe to which the Vedic tribes of Yadu, they belonged. Therefore, these five are regarded as the most legendary personalities of the Vrishni tribe and in the Vedic culture, of course, and therefore they are regarded as the five gods or Pancharatras in the Vasudeva Bhakti cult or the Bhagavatism, related very closely to the Vaishnavism. And when we talk about the Shaivism, under the Shaivism, there is Panchayatan worship, which is closely related to the Smarta tradition. Okay, everyone, Smarta tradition, where we just saw that five deities. Remember the name Shiv, Shakti, Vishnu, Ganesh, and Surya. These five deities are worshipped as the Panchayatan deities under the Smarta tradition. So guys, the third statement is basically incorrect. So the right answer will be option number A, and this is the answer to this question. So guys, now in case for more similar topics, for more such in-depth analysis of the topics, you can simply pursue your preparation with us through our prelims to interview batches, which are starting from tomorrow onwards, that is on 22nd of September. So guys, do not forget to use my code ASR Live, as this code will be giving you the great benefit in the fees of this entire course, which is basically giving you a lot of benefits, including the benefits of course completion with comprehensive coverage, along with the current affairs program, mains residential program, and the success in prelims as well as success in mains special programs are also there to ensure your success in the upcoming examination. Thank you so much for watching this session, guys. If you loved this session, if you liked this session, then do hit the like button. It costs you nothing. And you can also share this video with your friends, with anybody who is interested to know about Shankaracharya, either a student or a not student. In both the cases, this video will be equally informative. Thank you so much for watching it, guys. Take care. Bye-bye. And Jai Hind.